My husband's attitude is killing our marriage. Here goes. My husband is miserable at work. He doesn't really have any at-home hobbies other than Lego and weed. I try to get him interested in other things and he just would rather do nothing. The thing is, he gets so angry about work. He manages a tire shop and his employees seem to be great when he is there. When he isn't, everything seems to go to shit and he always worries about what he will come back to after a day or so off. He has talked about going to therapy but never takes action. Admittedly, he has gotten the short end of the stick a lot. Many things he has tried to achieve have shat right on his face, so I do understand his attitude, but I'm just getting to the point where I'm tired of the complaining. He never takes any of the advice I give and never makes a change. I feel like I'm at my wit's end and I really want to tell him to transfer to another location and we can live separately for a while he figures himself out, because being around him can be so draining at times. I love him very much and am committed to him, been together for 14 years married 8. But I'm currently on a journey of self-discovery and I feel like he is dragging me down. I know I could continue on my journey while still around him, but I just feel so guilty finding my happiness when he is so miserable. I want him to find happiness, but I don't know how to help when he doesn't seem to want it for himself. I've tried setting up dates for us and distractions after work and it's great for the time. Then the next day he goes to work and everything starts back over. He talks about stepping down or finding another job, but again, never does it. How can I help him want to be happy? What can I do to help with the work situation? Is this something that people separate over? Even if we separate, I worry he will end up just being depressed and not work on himself. I don't want to leave him in the dust, rather I'd love for him to grow with me. He is just so resistant, any advice would be appreciated. Comment. If his employees are great when he is there but don't do what they're supposed to when he isn't, they're not good employees and need to be reprimanded. If they continue, time to find new employees. Guy can't manage his life, doubt he's managing employees very well. Ops husband needs to find another job, not management, as it will immediately remove stress. Then get some therapy as it would benefit him, just like it would for everyone. But that's just getting himself right to make his marriage right. Some couples therapy would probably do well to get it all rolling. Get him on board with a marriage counselor and come from a place of love. I was this person a few months ago. I feel like no job is worth making you miserable. I think he should either find more dependable employees or think of moving on to something else. Maybe point out to him that he's angry a lot of the time, and you don't like seeing him that way. We all have choices and those choices can change our lives, even just a small one. In my situation, my husband is unhappy with his job. He is also a boss, but says that he cannot go elsewhere to make the kind of money that he makes, which could be true. I tell him that money is not the most important thing, but he sees it as the reason for working and that only an idiot would take a job that pay less. He has always thought of himself as the provider, even though I have worked full-time too ever since we met. It is because his dad worked and his mom stayed at home. My husband works at a trucking company and yours a tire shop. They are both dealing with aggressive manly types who give them attitude, and with the climate these days they know they can find another job and most do not even care about getting OT. They whine if they have to stay a little late for a delivery. Anyway, my husband is great at leaving his work attitude at work as he is with me, but I have heard him on the phone, when he has to be assertive, and wow. I guess I am saying, it sounds like he is trying, don't leave him. It sounds like you know what you want to do, but you haven't told him yet. This sounds like a conversation you two need to have. You can't help him be happier. You can't control or change someone else, only they can choose to do that. If he doesn't want to go to therapy and or change, ask yourself if you can stay in this relationship if it continues this way. It's okay to end the relationship if you don't want to live like this with him. Next story 2. My boyfriend of almost 3 years told me he was going away with our friends, but I was not invited. My boyfriend and I have a pretty large group of friends from all over who get together semi-regularly and hang out either at someone's home or away at an Airbnb. He was technically friends with them first, but I have known them almost just as long. A couple weeks ago my boyfriend and I were talking about our schedules for the upcoming month. He casually told me that there may be an upcoming trip in a couple of weeks with the group, but nothing is set in stone. So I said, oh, I didn't know the group was getting together, and I asked where it was. He tells me he doesn't know yet where, but it will just be the core group attending. So I asked, what do you mean by core group? He tells me that it will be the original friends and no significant others. So I asked him, does that mean I am not invited or something? He says that is correct, you are not invited. Keep in mind, most of the significant others are a part of this friend group. I was obviously upset and told him that it's kinda FKD up that I am not in my own boyfriend's core group, and he didn't seem to care and he didn't try to make me feel any better about it. I understand that significant others need time away from each other, but something about this situation really just rubs me the wrong way. Being excluded never feels good, but knowing that my boyfriend was okay with our friends purposely excluding me, and him not saying anything to make me feel better, just feels like a giant slap in the face. I am not upset because I think he is going to cheat on me or anything, but this makes me feel like an outsider. I already struggle with anxiety, so this really makes me question whether or not 1, these people are actually my friends, and 2, whether my boyfriend actually cares about my feelings or not. I am just curious what other people's thoughts and opinions on this are. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Or is it valid that I feel this way? Comment. I'm going to show my age here, but are they all males in the core group? If so, let him go and don't feel bad about it, no other partners are invited. Also, you need your own friendship group outside of that your partner has provided you with. Then you can go away with them the same. Another possible idea, invite all the partners on a trip without the core group. Sounds fun. My partner has a core group of friends. We all have a shared hobby, so I hang out with them a lot and think they're all great people. I consider them friends. Their SOs are great too. But they're his friends first, that's the core group. The SOs are not the core group. The guys occasionally do a weekend together, just them, and I think it's totally reasonable. I just don't see an issue here. I get that you don't like it, but not all things need to include you. Don't you ever take a girls' weekend? I totally get this. My husband does guy golf trips and I've done girls' trips. Neither of us are bothered by it. I think the bigger question is who is all going? Op mentioned SOS were a part of the group. Is it just a guy's trip? If not, is she the only SO excluded from going? If that's the case, then yeah, I could completely understand how that would hurt, and I'd question the friendship and my BF as well. AITA, I get it's a mix of people from the core group. However, do any of the girls have SOS not in that core group? Are they welcome to come? Again, is she the only one excluded? If so, that is an odd thing to do. Well, he did by telling you his intentions weeks in advance. You're adjusting your feelings to justify the way you're handling the situation. This isn't like he told you 2 hours beforehand and was just a random event. You two were discussing your schedules. I think what it sounds like is you hurt your own feelings in this case. He could have worded it more elegantly, or brought it up, but he stated his plans weren't concrete. Bluntness isn't the same as personally attacking you, that's communicating what's happening. If my significant other asked me where I was going or if I had plans, I'd respond in the same way. Oh, we're going out, just the core friend group and no SOs. The only difference is I'd ask if my SO was cool with it, but that depends person to person. You can talk to him, but communicating effectively is the key here. Let him know his bluntness hurt your feelings, and while you want him to have a good trip, you'd like to talk about how to communicate plans clearly so there's no hurt feelings. You backed yourself into the corner by asking about the so situation in a manner that only allowed a yes or no answer, so of course he's going to say yes, there are no so's on this trip. That's all. It just takes you to want to step up and confront him, but he wasn't in the wrong either, you just wanted him to say it differently. This isn't about respecting feelings, you just want him to communicate differently, so tell him that.